There we go. Yeah, OBS did its thing where it updated and then totally reset all of my audio. Why is the text not popping up? Well, that's not what I... Let's see, captions... Captions disappeared. Those of you who have, like, the captions on the bottom can see what I'm saying. I swear I poked at all this stuff beforehand. But where? Alright, where am I putting these out to? Let me try this again. There we go. It's not the right font, but it'll work for now. Good enough, right? What font is it using? Doesn't say. Comforta regular. I suppose it's good enough. I don't know why I'm messing around with this. Oh, I know what I can do. How about this one? That didn't take. Okay, this one took. This is the cinema font, which they use in like Japanese cinemas. You're supposed to be able to like read it pretty okay. Maybe just squish that in there. That should be fine for now. I need to go and fix the Halloween side. I did copy paste the scene, which it should have everything working properly, but it didn't, so I'm gonna have to take a look at that. Anyway, playing a detective game today. I finished Famicom Detective Club MEO. That was a terrible game. I do like some of the improvements on it. The think actually gives you kind of like a little nudge in where you're supposed to, like, are you supposed to ask more questions or whatnot? Not always, though. But the pacing was like... Apparently the director said he had like a story to tell, and so... It's less you being a detective and more we're just gonna info dump on you. Like, you don't get, like, clues you need until, like, like, right just toward the end chapter. And it's just like, yeah, this is a guy, this is a killer, this is who you're looking for, this is who you're gonna go after, go for it, champ. Which is like... And when I was playing Missing Air, I pretty much will figure out who the killer was based on all the clues that they gave me. Like, someone with, like, they around the age of 43, 44, uh, was seen driving a car, and this person was also seen in the car, and you're like going through your list of people, and you're like, these are the people that are around you, like around 40 years old, and then it's like, okay, which one doesn't really have an alibi? And it's, you find out, you know, who doesn't have an alibi, and you're like, yeah, that's probably the guy. And if you're the suspicious type, like I am, I had the killer dead to rights. I was like, yeah, it's him. It's him. But anyways, it was just like, it just was not good. And the pacing is like way off. Like, you only get clues in the last couple chapters. The first chapters 1 through 9, you're just pretty much spinning your wheels, and they just keep giving you more information about what you already know. But it's like, oh, like the victim was like this, or like the house burnt down, and it's like that does, like, we don't need to know that. So yeah, the killer is cut and dry. You pretty much will know who the killer is from, like, the chapter 3 or something? I mean, it's right there in the title. Emio, the Smiling Man. That's the killer. Okay, who is Emio? Well, the game tells you it's the guy from 18 years ago. And then you just stick a name on him. So it's like, yeah, less you being a detective and more like, yeah, we're just gonna tell you. And you just have to mash the buttons to get through the story. What else? Sorry, I'm looking at my stream and I'm just like, the colors on my stream on my phone look way better than on my monitor. I had to, like, did you know that, if I go to, wait, is that an audio? That's an audio. Alright, that's window audio. Did you know? I actually need to move that down. I wish, I wish OBS had a, move to bottom button. It's probably like hold shift or something, but it's like... Anyways, where am I? Did you know, at least in the new version of OBS, if you go to scale filtering, and like... if you have it on disable, it will wash your thing out until you set it to, like, something else. Then you can go back to, like, turning it off. What isn't locked down? That's not locked down. Anyway. Yeah, so if you're in OBS and you have, like, you know, like, this is your VC face or your VNON is all really washed out, it's under scale filtering, just find something and stick it there and it'll... Suddenly, magically, the colors will just get more colorful. What else? I think that's it. Let's go play the game. It's called Chase, Cold Case, something or other. It's by the guy who did Hotel Dusk, which I think was called, like, Last Window in Japan and Europe. Which is kind of funny when we keep the name and we keep the Japanese name and Europe renames it, or Europe keeps the Japanese name and we rename it. It's just always... And it had a different, cover art, too. The cover art actually looks kind of like you're... It looks kind of shovelware, really. Like, it's clear... It looks like a beach scene. Like a, Yeah, it's called Wish Room, I'm sorry. Last Window is the next one in the series. It just looks like a horizon with a car and a guy. Like some kind of, I don't know. It looks really American, like... Meanwhile, ours is just a black and white cover of the main character off to the bottom left and like some woman coming through the door on the right. Anyway, this is, I don't know if this is the third in the series, or it's in the between the 1 and the 2, or it's just like a it's supposed to be a prequel to something, but I'm not certain what. Let me just get the game going. Switch profile to 3DS. Switch to 3DS.
3DS 主様.
I don't think I have rent type on here. Except for right there. I don't think I have rent type set up. Hello?
こんにちは主様.
Alright, he's coming through the game audio. Oh, I see a thing. I see a single line of white. I must fix it. I really don't like it when they put the lines like that. I can't see what I'm doing. I have exorcised the demon. Alright, yeah, I see the captions not be in there. How about now? Source not streamed, main mic filled. Oh, I'm using my alternate mic filter. Hang on. Damn, I have so many. There we go. How about now? There we go. Alternate mic filter. What was this one all about? Alright, this one was noise gate, compressor, and limiter. This was like the simple one. Like, I think I was reading co-host about it. Like, how most people think you're not supposed to go into the red with your audio, but you are. You're actually really supposed to go in the red. You're not supposed to clip with it, though. You're not supposed to go so over into the red that it's just the bars all the way at maximum. Because you want to make sure people can hear you. And there was... Please tell me the game audio was working properly. I haven't played this before. Yeah, and this guy does look like the guy from Hotel Dusk, but I don't think it's the same guy. I think it's a different guy. Don't know if there's any voice acting. A small child did it. Of course, you're supposed to be holding these horizontally, or vertically. Rude. Anase, sir. Yeah, I don't know if the guy from Hotel Dusk is named Anase, or if they've renamed him because, you know, Japanese names are evil. We have to banish the demon. Konosuke Nanase. That's your job, don't you know? Like, are we the cold case files, or are we just like a private detective? I've gotta know. Let me put the scaling on for these. I'm gonna do Lands Coast because, like, I think it's, you know, it's supposed to be, what's the word? They're not supposed to be pixels. Okay, I've gotta know. I've gotta know. Main characters. Hyde, Kyle Hyde. And that is his name in Japanese. Mila Evans. That's all the two characters there. Of the Kyle Hyde series. Apparently there's a whole Sing wiki, which was the ones that, which made these. Sequel, Last Window, and Chase is not even mentioned. Yeah, Last Window, only came out in Europe. I want to say I own it. I actually went and bought it. Anyway. Wow, these are set in the same fictional universe as another code. Which... I have not played. Wasn't another code like... Trace Memory series in the American localization? The Recollection came out. I'm trying to remember if this was kind of on the same line as Survival Kids. Because there was Survival Kids 2, and then I think it branched off into, like, Lost in Blue. That's the one I'm thinking of. Not Another Code. Anyways. Your friend is refusing you to pay $4, basically. But as you can see, like, the designer has a type. Like, Kyle Hyde basically looks like this guy. Eccentric detective, you mean the does nothing detective? Like, what the fuck is going on with Japan? It's like, the cold case units in actual police departments, at least here in America, are supposed to be looking at actual cold cases, and like, they go through them and see, do we have any new leads? Is there any DNA we can test and, like, send it off and put it into a CODIS and see if it gets a hit back from, somebody who did their 90 or 63andMe, 23andMe? However many fucking, DNA thingy-madoohickeys human beings have. I wouldn't know, I'm a sprout. 23andMe, I think. Yeah, the ancestral DNA to where they're like... It was murder. I can't switch these, can I? No. Unlike the Melon DS, I don't have a button that switches the left and the right. You know, like most of the cold cases are being solved by ancestral DNA. Like, you put your DNA into 23andMe, which, hey, goes to the cops, and then and it goes to CODIS, and then they basically get a partial match. And like, hey, this person was related to these people, and like they're like, you anybody missing from your family? And they're like, yeah, I don't know. Our aunt never came home, and it's like, oh yeah, we found her body. And, you know, everyone's sad, but, you know, we found them, finally, we can put a name to a body. Or, we found DNA that was from, like, various cases, and it's like, hey, they go to the family and, like, okay, like, maybe the son submitted the DNA, and it's like, they basically can trace it to the father, like, you know, the father was a perpetrator. And then he goes to jail, and the family's like, oh shit. Honestly, I'm of two minds about it. On the one hand, using it to solve cold cases is, I think, beneficial. But, you know, it is kind of a breach of privacy. Like, if you submit it to 23andMe and you think it's just going to remain private with the company, and it doesn't. But, you know, you have to read your fine print there.
Get the very kitty face.
You're not a cat, Rentype. Yeah. I found Rentype in the trash. Fixed him up. Now he's my stream butler. But you know, a few quirks here and there. Thinks he's a cat. Thinks he needs to eat too, as a cat. But he's cute, and mostly does his job. Mostly. October 2nd? Or the 10th of February? Where's the cold case unit? We checking this shit that's like 5 years old. I mean, most of the cops that work cases are like, oh god, the amount of true crime I've seen to where the cops have just bungled everything more times than not. Like honestly, the presenters are like, this is one of the times where the cops actually did their job. Like, you know, it becomes an event to where we pull out the trophy. Otherwise, it's like, yeah, cops did cop things. They didn't follow up on leads, they didn't question people. They didn't secure the crime scene. I might make a scene to where it's just the top and the bottom on top of each other, and then figure out just a way to quick switch to them. Tatsuminami, age 45. So, if the boy broke the thing, then the kid's a murderer? I mean, I could do it kind of like now. Dude, your job is to look at cold cases. You're supposed to be going through them and seeing if there is anything you can, like, hash out. Yuto Suemura. Same day, different time. Name. Ellipses! Mr. Nanase, sir, he was just a child. Be a little nicer with him. His name is Shonosuke Nanase. Ah, he's 15, so he was 10 back in that picture we saw him in. You're old enough to be piloting Gundams. You broke the gas tanks and ran away, even hid the tank conveniently in a corner. Let's put it that way. I sell propane and propane accessories. Well, you might need propane for like working some medical stuff. I think it was stored on a shelf. There's no way to know why it was put here. This is rather high up. That means you knocked the tank off the shelf. It was damaged when it hit the ground. Ellipses! Hey, wanna pipe in at all yet? More ellipses! Earthquake was reported during that time, maybe the... Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's why the tank fell. I'm not exactly super tired yet. Well, I doubt he knocked it down on purpose. Why'd you try and hide a kid? More ellipses! I'm scared something like that falling out of nowhere, then he could get back it. He couldn't get it back in its original location. Yeah, I mean, let him answer. Where are you, as a lawyer? If he had hidden it, maybe the victim would have noticed while he lit the cigarette, not knowing what would happen. Yeah, knew the victim hid. What YouTube was... Well, I mean, he didn't sell him, so... Why would they be friends? You don't kill your friends. Well, maybe you do. Okay, that's not a cell phone, that's a deck of cards. Yeah, well, let me tell you about stuff like that. Amekura? I mean, I kinda choose my friends based on their age. Looking at his face, I'm detecting really nothing. My fault that he died. Alright, case closed. Next case. The next day. Alright, it is October. Oh, we spent the whole month doing nothing. Okay, his workplace, and I found out, sir, are you listening? Tell your instance so they're not. Hatsumanami, age 45, works as a janitor for Ryokudo Hospital. Yuto Suegmura was visiting the same hospital. That's how he came into contact with Minami-san. Anyone remember staff they met after Yuto lost an important friend and he was extremely closed off. A member of the staff? Something must have happened as he became very attached to Mr. Minami-san. As you said, sir, they appear to have been friends. According to the employee, Minami-san kept quiet to himself, but he made an exception for Yuto. That's all this according to so-and-so. Speak like a detective. Yes, right, the employee. She used to work the front desk at the hospital. She retired recently, and, That's enough. There's nothing there. And she was your mother. Gasp! Shock! But I have more information. He doesn't care. He doesn't want to be a detective. Yeah, he is a real shitty detective. I mean, lots of detectives, really. But the tip line is for that very reason. Later that same day, young man knocked the gas tank from the shelf, damaging it. The leak gas was then ignited by a cigarette, which was also an explosion. Sorry. So when detective games start doing the you've told me this like 3 times already. You complained the last time I went into detail, sir. Alright, the photo of the scene. And the chair and table left. And the good old touch the items. Shards for the knocked over shelf fell on the corpse. The shelf was knocked over, pieces of the glass fell on the body. The corpse had wounds to that effect. So he was dead before the shelf was knocked over. Das ist das! A portable gas stove. That's what the propane was for then. Heat up some water, make some ramen. Wow! Snacks. Beer, alcohol, gas, and something that can be ignited. Those are always a lovely combination. The inside still holds silver drinks, beer and various snacks. They were still cold! All the cops were eating them and getting crumbs all over the crime scene. Upper part of the gas tank, it's hidden behind the knocked over locker. Looks like there's anything else here. There's a photo from before the accident too, right? Yes, this one just happens to be taken by an employee a few days before. Take a look. All references to explain the lead up to the accident. stored on the shelf. Employees sorted there with some snacks. Beer snacks. So like pretzels and nuts and stuff. What the tank was for? Are we assuming? I mean, I know I said that, but still. The gas tank could have been used for anything. It was alone in the supply room. Why? But if he was always in the supply room, why would he knock it over? He'd be familiar with the supply room. Behind the locker. Yeah, that's what I mean. It was burnt in the last photo, but was covering it. That makes it even more suspicious. But if it exploded in front of him and the glass shelf is behind him, the glass shelf would be knocked away from him later on the same day. Too many things. Plan the explosion, but Vito couldn't have done it. He calls her an idiot, of course. Why have her around if you're just gonna belittle her? I would have just left him and been like, you're on your own, jackass. That was all he did? The tank wasn't knocked down on purpose, and there was no way Yuto could have anticipated the gas leak. The tank was too heavy for him to lift back on the shelf, but if he left it out, then someone would discover what happened. Oh, sorry. He made it too obvious by putting the tablecloth on it. Like, honestly, you just leave it be, and you just say, like, came in and it was like that. And hopefully there's no cameras for evidence. He's not at fault, but they could have been having, like, Manami could have said something and the kid just was, like, angry at him at that day. Well, you could have known what you could have done. improvise an explosion to murder someone just because he happened to come across a gas leak. Why? Why can't you conclude that it wasn't murder in this case? I hate this guy already. What if ignition wasn't the cigarette? Would you ignore something in the corner of the room if it was covered by that gaudy tablecloth? No. Yeah. I mean, you'd also have to know the tank was leaking because you can smell gas. That's the number one way that you can tell there's a gas leak is you smell it. A suicide? Still hating him. Fire originated from something else. You suppose. One dead, none injured, no one was close when it happened. Like, how could you prepare for that? Like, you would have to have somehow gotten that person alone. The door's closed and the room's underground, but there are no windows. How would he do it? Good for you! Oh god, I hate him. Condescending asshole. If no hand damaged the tank, then it wouldn't have been treated as an accident. Criminalized isn't murder either. Always gonna have the detective smoking, like, Jinguji Saburo is like a chain smoker. Like, whenever you go over his clues, that's what he does, is he lights up. But in Daedalus, you get to play him when he was a kid, and it's like, when the fuck did you pick up that habit? Like, seriously, kid. Which, I might add, Daedalus was a... not very good. I kind of hate how Axis Games tried to make it a Jake Hunter when they specifically used the Japanese names. Which, like, it's not a Jake Hunter because you're playing quote-unquote Jake Hunter. But it's like an alternate Jake Hunter where, you know, they kept their Japanese names. Honestly, I really think someone should just get the series and just retranslate it with Japanese names. He is not fired up at all. Honestly, Saburo is better than this guy. And that's after the bad Axis translation of him, too. But yeah, haven't played Daedalus, and it was very good. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't very good. It's mostly the storyline's a bit like you know, just ditch his ass and solve it yourself. You're smart. Like, I'm already hating this back because they're going back and forth, like, is this or ain't this a murder case? Like, Famicom Detective Club, again, does this back and forth. Like, you're trapped you're trapped in a car with Kamihara, and the only thing you can do is ask, like, you ask your list of things, and all he's gonna talk about is how he didn't eat breakfast that morning and how his stomach's rumbling and he's hungry. And that Kuze talks about her childhood and candy. That's all you get of that about that scene, and it lasts for like 10 to 15 minutes. Like, that is not a good game. Nah. Consider it a possibility. I really wish that there were more detective games with, like, female leads without some kind of male sidekick that mostly solved the case for her. So I've seen a lot of detective, like, where she's the lead and then, like, there's a male sidekick and he more or less is doing all the clue work. Like, she's the only one that just gives the, this is what happened. And, like, that's mostly the anime and the stories I've read. The possibility isn't zero, then we should take it into consideration so she can come up with good ideas. Oh yeah, so okay, she's doing all the work here. Why is your face on the cover? Let's put a pretty dude on the cover, maybe people will buy it because pretty dude? Alright, alright. See if it really is possible it's a murder case. You gonna go to your, like, your dark room? The dark place? You gonna go to, what was it, the Mind Tree? I think it was in Daedalus, so it's the Mind Tree. At Famicom Detective Club, they just go back to the office and just review, like, normally. And so Jinguji Saburo, he lights a cigarette back at the office. And I guess that's when he goes back to his Mind Tree. But let's start by looking at it as a murder case. If that assumption is correct, then would it have happened? When would it have happened? Club. Naomi was caught in the explosion. Are we sure about this? There's no doubt? Like, I mean, he could have been murdered before the explosion, and the explosion was used to cover it up. I guess I have to say there's no doubt. I'm sorry, I'm doing 5D chess here, easily doing 4D chess. Like, it could have been used to cover up the murder. Come on, I've played about 5 million of these kinds of games. Well, maybe not that many, but I have read a lot of, watched a lot of detective anime, read a lot of detective fiction. Yeah, but the shelf was on his body. It would have been blown back with him. Assuming it's murder. Explosion was set up by someone. That would mean this crime was impulsive? No one could have known about the kid knocking the tank down before the crime was carried out in the heat of the moment. Still assuming it's a murder, what about the culprit? We got one dead and an injured, that means the perpetrator. Got caught and he killed himself! Right, the culprit think he caught up in it, therefore they weren't there when it happened. But yeah, but it could have been murder! He could have killed himself! It's still technically murder in a lot of countries. You can go to jail for attempting to kill yourself. Which, it's like, yeah, thanks for sending me to jail, now I really want to kill myself even more. I think here in the United States, they don't send you to jail, you just go to rehab or something like that. You get all your shit taken away from you, which is probably not good for your mental health, and then you get sent to, like, a mental health clinic. Which is better than going to jail, but still, it's like, they take all your shit away from you. It was already full of gas, the only thing they had to do was light it on fire. Possible for someone not at the scene to ignite the gas. Well, you just said that the perpetrator was safe from it, but then they're lighting the gas? Closed door, no windows, spur of the moment. It'd be difficult to ignite the gas under those circumstances. No way it could be a murder case? But if Mommy really was killed, when did it happen? See, now, in Famicom Detective Club, you could strangle someone and then, like, burn the body, and there's no evidence that they were strangled. Killed before. Nami was already dead. Same day, later time. I love these captions and the way they render stuff. See, I was thinking that ahead of time, that he was either dead and the explosion was used to cover the murder, or, but, like, it didn't want me to think that way, which I really hate when you've already solved the case, but they're like, no, you gotta go in order, and you're like, alright. Like, playing, the Gakuten Saibon Phoenix Wright games, like, there's lots of people like, yeah, I knew what document they wanted or whatever evidence they wanted, and I was presenting it, but they kept saying it was the wrong time, and it's like, yeah. You haven't confirmed it's a murder case. He wasn't killed by any gas explosion, that's right. Amekura. I'm not like you. I'm not interested in chasing cases just because the possibility isn't zero. See, I am part of the cold case unit and I don't actually want to do my job. Locate the starting point of the fire. That's not the cigarette. If you can't find that, then this investigation is over. But why find the fire's origin? How would that determine whether it was murder or not? No shit! Fire started from the cigarette, Minami would be. He'd still be alive. However, a different origin point of the fire, then our assumption gains plausibility. However, if Minami being dead when the explosion happened ends up being false, then the chances of it being a murder case fall to zero. Find the ignition point. I'll get the materials ready. Next day. I might play Hotel Dusk on stream. Not certain. I want to finish up the Jinguji Saburo game I was playing, and then maybe do Ghost of Dusk. Photos of the room. Let's do the before. I mean, this one's only an hour because it was like 3DS-ware. Probably want me to look at that. See, I'm really hating that they're treating her like she's dumb and letting her make mistakes and shit. Possibility that the explosion occurred after Manami was dead. If Manami is dead, then there's no one to be there to turn the stove on. Microwave! The microwave! Never mind. What am I gonna look at now? There was a fridge in the... Yeah, that's another thing that the Saburo games have a problem with, is that pixel hunting. Burnt out light bulb. Like the others. Cracked and broken. It was done before the explosion. The bulb itself is filled with inert gas to prevent the filament from burning out due to the high temperature required. If the bulb is cracked without the inert gas to maintain it, the temperature keeps increasing and... the explosion didn't happen at the start of the leak because the room wasn't full of gas. Light bulb was on the ceiling. Gas is heavier than air, so it filled the bottom up. When there's a time lag between the leak and the explosion. That's what I figured. Can't think of anything else. Of course, this is based on the assumption that Minami was murdered. Same day, later time. I found out how the fire started, I suppose, but it's not evidence of Minami being murdered. Just increases the chance it might have happened. Easy enough to continue the investigation, right? This is what, third cigarette? Fourth cigarette? Minami was killed before the explosion. I think we can narrow down the suspects. After he hit the tank. He only went by the room before the explosion as a suspect. Surveillance camera? There should be one. Yeah, but it's been 5 years. They've probably destroyed it. Like, why would they have the video there if it was an accident? They would have let it be destroyed because, like, it's an accident. We don't need evidence. Like, why is there even a cold case on this? Case closed. Next case. Nah, he's a lazy ass. fifth cigarette, fourth cigarette. Interviewed all the witnesses. Yeah, he's just sitting on his ass doing nothing. At least, what's his name? From family. At least Saburo does his own footwork, and what's his name does his own footwork. As a matter of fact, you can't play Ayumi in any of the games except for Emio. But I have to admit, like, she doesn't really do a lot of investigating. It's mostly talking to, like, one character. And, like, the first time you get to be her, you don't really get any evidence at all. Like, it's almost really a, why did they put this in here? It just kind of feels like they stuck it in there just to extend the time. Shunkichi Koga, 29 years old, another janitor. So he knew Minami. But they were on bad terms. Yeah, he did it. He did it. Hitomi Aikawa, 38, a nurse. Alright, they were merely acquaintances. They said hello to each other when they passed. She's too calm. She must be the murderer. Genji Hisada, currently working at a library. At the time, he was unemployed. He didn't know Mr. Minami at all. He had just been in the hospital coincidentally the day of the accident. Of course, there's no motive. I'm not sure about him. And no, that's not his real name! Yeah. Yeah, I'd leave his ass. I'd be like, hey, I'm Mikura. Where are you? I need you to get me my coffee. Hello? I'd be like, oh, you're alone. Be like, no, dude, you're alone. So he has a criminal history. You the victim? Your in-laws. Dude definitely has a type. Heating up beer snacks? You don't heat up beer snacks? See, this is where the game needs to stop until you're like, in Japan, beer snacks are heated up. I'm a free soul! So, he's the one that knows about the stove. And the gas. He was hiding something. It was like that, like that's generally right. Your gut. With all my 23 bacteria in it. I've been serious. Went into the room with Manami. Some time passed and you left alone. What happened in that room? Let's see. Don't remember. Try to never live in the past. You can go. What if all three of them did it? They're all three guilty. Explosion at Rokudo Hospital. Let's make sure this is still working. I'd be like, yeah, this guy, he doesn't believe any of whatever you're saying. When the explosion happened, you were? She can't be at the scene because that means she would have gotten caught in the explosion. Don't worry, this guy hates women. So that's why he's being nasty to you. I know Manami, but I didn't meet with him that day. Supply. I didn't meet with him. I did go to the room, but I turned back. I hear loud voices arguing inside. Which was the first guy? Shinkichi, was that his name? Shunkichi? Koga? What's interesting about Koga from Pokemon is that that's not his name in Japanese. Which, why wouldn't they use the Japanese name if they're going to just use a Japanese name? You can confirm that Koga left after Aikawa did. They were still about to see when Aikawa came by. If there was a fight, it had to have been the two of them. They entered and met with Mr. Manami before you left. Yes, that's right. I think. I think I was near the area when the explosion went off. I remember now. A lot happened that day. I'm not sure I have everything straight. What happened? That's... had nothing to do with the explosion. I don't want to talk about it. I know we'll bring it up again if necessary. One last question. How did you know Manami? Clean the building. A very kind person. You said that was your last question and I told you how I knew him already. Yep, she's guilty of something. You can go. Yeah, she's got that smile on her face, like, she knows. They're all guilty. Very interesting. Don't tell you, the rest is up to you, fucking lazy ass. See, this guy has a type. Isn't a store. This is where I have plans after this. Like everybody so far, every man hasn't been able to shave except for the 15-year-old who probably hasn't gone through puberty yet. Like, Christ, dude. Like, that looked like he just doesn't know how to use a razor. It really doesn't. It's just a little bit here, a little bit up over there, a little bit down there. Like, what were you doing? Supplosion. See? Alright, you can't see my cursor. But... looks like somebody had the 6 o'clock shadow brush and just guesstimated. Like, if your characters all look alike, it's gonna be hard to tell them apart. Even if you put glasses on them. And they all have, like, similar or same haircuts. Like, I get it, you can't draw any other kind of person. Hatsuminami. Going for the news? Correct. Ever see him? I did. And when was that? Like, you see his, it's corralled in, like, a spot. Close to where the explosion occurred. I saw him putting away cleaning supplies. Like, from the front, it looks like, you know, there's a pattern to it, but from the side, no. Why were you in the area? I got lost. Strange if you got lost there. You passed through the scene, but it was a while before you came back. The supply room is at the end of the hallway. True enough. Trust me, I've gotten lost in places and gone to the end of the hallway before turning back because, you know, hey, maybe I can find a sign or something that will point me to where I need to go. I was intending to return, but I received a phone call after I turned the corner. I didn't want to use my phone inside a hospital, but it was important, so I took the call where I couldn't be seen. Under the ground? Could you really get a signal there? Is that going to become important? Like, getting a signal underground? Why didn't you want to be seen taking the call? I've seen lots of people just talking just out in the open, like they don't give a shit. Like, Famicom Detective Club, Amio, yeah, lots of people talking on the phones. Why it took you a few minutes, an important call at your work? I was unemployed at the time. Employer. Where's Manami during this time? Entered the room after putting supplies away. See. Final question. You mentioned not having a job at the time. When did you start working at your current place of employment? 5 years ago. Is that so? Alright, I'm just gonna show you who Kyle Hyde is, if you don't know who Kyle Hyde is. Alright. Nope, that's not what I want to do. I want to do this. Not exactly, but it'll work. Now don't tell me those don't look alike. Especially, see. It looks different in last window. Slightly. But you really only need to see the upper half of them. Yeah, no, don't tell. It's like we parted it on the other side. And we gave him black hair, but it's like the same fucking character. And I guess I suppose it's, you know, he doesn't shave his upper lip at. Barely. They're two different characters, we swear. Honestly, I like the, this one. That one's like the best looking one of Kyle. So when I say this guy has a type, he has a type. Like, that's it? That's it, really? Later that day. Got his feet up. What is with, like, detectives and having their feet up? This happens in Bustafellows. Like, that game starts off with, like, what's his name with his feet on his desk. None of them are telling the truth. He just has a cigarette's not even in his mouth, it's just stuck to his lip. Yeah, when he opens his mouth, it's just stuck to his lip. You know what? I might want to play this again in the future, just like a quick run through, and just count how many cigarettes he goes through. And then do a Saburo run and see how many cigarettes we go through on that. Like so much some kind of misunderstanding. It's been 5 years, but being involved in an accident like that would have be hard to forget. Like, if he hadn't been there, how does he know who Minami is? Like, yeah, I saw him on TV, but how would I know who Minami was when I passed him in the hallway? Like, why would I remember his face? Mr. Koga doesn't seem to remember much. Maybe he wasn't a part of— Jesus Christ. Nah. The next step. Let's kill the kid to talk time. I mean, talk to the kid to pass time. Kill time. (10:06) the next day. We aren't going to talk about anything bad this time. So, human guts splattered all over the walls. I thought you said— okay, we meant the accident. When did you first meet him? Come on, kid. Do I have to break some kneecaps? The dead won't mean anyone new, they'll just end up forgotten over time. If you talk about them, then other people can meet them too. You need to leave proof he existed. Oh, you mean that— oh, we're gonna create a memory for him, then people are gonna remember him? Nah, I mean, I'm gonna kill someone. Someone's gonna die. You're gonna have friends in the afterlife. I might remember him too. 7 years ago. I met him 7 years ago. So you were 7. Wait, 8? 8. 7 or 8. 8, 9, 10, yeah. Your friends died? Suzu. She was my only friend. Me and Minami were on the same time she passed away. Yeah. After Suzu died, they kicked me out. Couldn't leave the place where I met her, so I hid in the bathroom. That's the one I met. Him. So he'd been cleaning it when you went in. Yeah, I locked myself in a stall and cried, then he spoke to me through the door. I think we talked for an hour. An hour all through the door? I couldn't see his face, but I felt like I could trust him. My parents came looking for me, but he told them to give me some space. We talked for a long time until I finally calmed down. When I opened the door, he was there. He didn't look up at me. He was cleaning the floor. He just said, I'll remember Suzu too. Did you remember him too, right? Please remember him, mister. Now, what was his name again? I forgot. It's like, okay, see, this is what I don't like when they translate. Like, did he call him Osan or Oji-san? I want to say Osan, which is like old man. Or, but like Oji-san, I would say, is probably like uncle. It's like for older male people that you don't call, Nissan. Yeah. Nanase. Shinosuke Nanase. Nanase-san, or did they use detective in the original? Hibu. Please remember my friends Minami and Suzu. I'll be sure to remember now. He's gonna forget about it like tomorrow. We're the cold case department. There's too many people to remember. I think it's the same day, just a little later. You've lost 2 of your most important friends. Yeah. He thinks it's all his fault that Minami died. Yeah. It was 5 years ago, but this kid still has a future. You're right, we need to solve this case so Yuto doesn't have to feel guilty anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
See? He's a kitty. Let me just test something. Alright, that's not working. Why isn't that working? I'm getting distracted. Okay. What else isn't working? That was working. Now it's no longer working. Nope, that didn't work either. Oh, did it? There we go. Now this should work. God, stop! I don't care about highlighting shit. It went meow at me. There we go. There's some water here. Ow. Yeah, you can throw squeaky ducks. Did I do the slime one yet? No. How about the blob? No. Anyways, let's get back to the game. I was just wondering if that was working. I didn't just connect to Twitch. I gotta do my slimes and blobs and things later. Information of the suspects. Didn't have time to compile them. Don't talk as if you always have things organized. Jesus Christ, I wanna fucking bludgeon this guy to death. You don't talk as if I never have things organized. Can I answer my question the other data right? Like, there's being snarky, and then there's just being a fucking asshole. This guy is just being a condescending fucking asshole. I'm kind of glad that this is the only game he appears in so far. Like, I don't even think Kyle is this asshole. Like, trying to think of all the detectives I've had to play, and like, Saburo was definitely not like a fucking asshole. Even though they try and write him in the whole quote, the noir way. Which was not the way it was in the Japanese. shit. Hang on. Give me a second. Alright, I think I'm fine now. Brutish speech, his actions are idiotic. Single-minded with a This dude only has like a one-word vocabulary. Ah, fucking just want to see my fucking node graph again. Did I really not do that? No, I only have 4 of them. Wait. Oh yeah, I did have I did have that one. That one's going to change if I can. But I got that in there. Probably just need to make a new... Yeah, it's just Squeaky Duck. Ow! Right. That was nice. It should have thrown a duck too. Alright, 2 blob cubes in the deck. I make my slimes. Anyway, I am satisfied. The sprout has been satisfied. Koga doesn't think before you speak. To tell the truth, nothing he told us carries any weight. I hope you've got something. What's the Koga connection? See, because this guy feels like she does all the work and he takes all the credit. Got fired after the explosion occurred. Is that so? Investigation of the accident covers drinking, among other things. He was reported to the hospital. Well, naturally got fired, right? And that's where it ends. He's been up to. He's fired. He started in izakaya and got married. He and his wife grilled chicken together. Chicken. Somehow I'm not surprised. I know, right? It's pretty easy to see him doing that. Large gas tank belonged to Koga, correct? Why did he need it? To beer snacks. The gas stove. You got the gas tank that size for a portable stove? It appears so. Is he an idiot? Yes! Yes, he is! Jesus. Nothing left for Koga. Let's move on to Aikawa. Nurse! Calm disposition can be cold-hearted. She was 15 and her younger brother was in a traffic accident and died in the pediatrics ward. The pediatrics ward, isn't that where she's working right now? don't think it's coincidence. Aikawa clearly has some kind of emotional tie towards Ryokudo Hospital. Could it be Minami used to be a doctor in the hospital, but then became a janitor? I think so too. Aikawa works with the pediatrics where the kid and his friends stayed there, didn't they? Yes, that's right. He was already working there when Yuto and Suzu were admitted. I believe there's a connection of some sort between her and Yuto. He cleaned the buildings I worked at. I remember our first meeting well. Mr. Minami was a very kind person. But I couldn't just leave the place where I met her, so I hid in the bathroom. That's where I met him. I highly like that he keeps how she met Minami. Thought so too, so I checked into it, and Mr. Minami hadn't been in charge of cleaning the pediatric ward since before Suzu died. Oh. Oh, did he do something in the pediatrics ward that might have gotten the kid killed? And now she blames him for it? I think I figured it out. Is that significant? There's no way to tell for sure yet. Right. Anything about Aikawa's life changed since the accident? Not really. Well, that's about it for her then. Time for Hisata. Man of few words, intelligent, but they appears standoffish and has a trouble with razors. Hisata. Oh, everybody's fucking dying at this hospital. His daughter passed away there 7 years ago. His daughter is Suzu. Quite a lot of dead people connected in this case. You know, Minami. You're right, it's like Kawa's little brother and Yuto's friend. Yeah? No, it's nothing. Like... Well, now he has a motive as Suzu died, and Suzu was his, what, daughter? Yeah, his daughter. What do the other buttons do?
Moving to left RG-sama.
Stop that. Oh, you can look at these. Older than he looks. Alright, those are all the options. I didn't know there were options. He saw it before the accident. He was a detective. Oh. 7 years ago, before that he was on active duty. Of course he was, why wouldn't he be? Of course, why did I only get this info? Just this info. Only now came up with my latest search. It's fine, we have more details on when he was a detective, I assume. You know. Crack Zero. Big case was chasing down his hacker group called Crack Zero. Never heard of them. pretty infamous, but I couldn't think of any other information. Not much of them is left in our database. I see. Interesting. I agree. What's he been up to? He was also unemployed, but he was hired at a library after that. 5 years ago, right after the explosion. Loaning out books. Nobody wants to hear it because he's an asshole. When I was little, and how about we save the tale for next time? Yeah, I'm glad this guy didn't get a... I'm wondering if in Japan, maybe everyone was like, this guy is an asshole. I don't want to play this any kind of game with him in it. That was all 3 suspects. Is there anything you found interesting? More of what didn't I find interesting? So go faster if I spoke with them directly. But we just spoke with them! Like, why did we... Okay, next day. Why did we have this info before we talked to them? I can't see this guy being married and flipping chicken. Hell is this? My life's gonna go crazy before this becomes a regular thing, you know? Wrap things up and then you can go. I have the correct email right now. I'm sending money to my folks. That's $200, 20,000 yen a month, or $200. It's nice of you. But we get started. Bought that large gas tank, right? Yeah, but I've got a problem with that. No problem, just a question. Why that size? Figured you bought it for the stove, but why one that big? I think it's better, right? It's more powerful. The stove would heat up better with more power. More power, more power. Ow, 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 ow. You're not serious. What? I am. What's your problem? One more question. What? I thought that demo was using it at the store tricky. He said it'd have more firepower. And then I couldn't even use the damn thing. Use gas tank. Stored it on the shelf. Stupid you! Stupidly tricked into buying a stupidly used gas tank and then you just stored it on the shelf? I wasn't storing it, I was trying to hide it. Because stupid me got stupidly tricked into buying the stupid gas tank and no one will stop making fun of me. See? Even on that day, he was always taking digs at me. What are you talking about? Old Kaji Minami, he was nagging at me to do something about the tank. He went full tilt at me the second I stepped in the room on the day of the accident. We were heading back after cleaning the 3rd floor. We just talked about dumb stuff, you know? We ran into the kid in the hall. He was his usual self. We were even joking. Kids these days, stuff like that. Can't say no, it is usual. It's like, but once you get back to the room, it wasn't like that anymore. That's what I'm saying. The moment we entered the damn room, he rounded on me, demanding me to tell him where I hid the tank. But I stashed it all on the shelf, but that set him off even more. What if it falls? Do you know how dangerous that is? We were really going at it. Oh, could that be the argument Miss Aikawa overheard? That's what I'm thinking. Wait, don't tell me you're suspecting me. Yeah, we were in each other's faces, but I swear I never touched him. might start stripping when I'm piss drunk, but I'd never hurt anyone. I don't know if I want to see that or not. Stripping, you say... Where's my hand? You say... I can't... Stripping, you say... I've been well drunk, don't matter, but thanks for the important testimony you gave us. Sometimes I have to say I didn't do it. It's not what I meant. What you did give me was a big clue the moment I entered the room. Now he wants to know what the kid did. Nearly covered the knockdown tank and tip cloth. Like he noticed the gas leak then too. So why he became so upset saying it was dangerous. Oh, what do you mean? The old man noticed the gas leak? Is that why he yelled at me to get out of there? I didn't know. I was so mad at him for telling me to leave and I said some rude things. And how was I supposed to? I left them in there all alone. Was he trying to save me? I understand what you're doing, you old fool. Why didn't you spell it out for me? Because men. Because if I actually, like, told you that, did you think I'd like you or something? I don't know. I don't think there's anything more I can tell you. I'd like you to answer some questions. I bet there are a few more things you can share with us. I'd like to know a bit more about you in Ryokudo Hospital. Oh, the music changed. Your late brother, I believe he had been hospitalized in the pediatrics ward. This is the music changed voice. That you working in the very same ward is just a coincidence. Did you have a reason? Reason? I would never. For example. Perhaps the hospital never diverted the cause of your brother's death, where there was an instance of malpractice. Malpractice. Thanks, captions. Reason like that makes sense that you want to sneak into the ward to uncover the truth. It is, after all, where your brother died. You can't have much in the way of good memories associated with the place. What was your reason? I don't trust that hospital. Like you said, it was highly suspected that my brother's death was a case of malpractice, but there was no definitive proof. That's why I applied for a job at the pediatrics ward, to find the proof. Have you uncovered anything yet? No, I feel so helpless, just like I did 7 years ago. What happened? A child passed away in the pediatrics ward. Could it be? Brother died before this. I'd rather you not make things up, please. Shit. Well, Yudo's friend. If they would have said I was looking for Suzu. Heard about this before. The girl's name was Suzu, wasn't it? I have a feeling you might have heard about her already. It wasn't her illness that caused her death. Suzu was killed. Killed? I don't recall seeing that in the news. Hospital covered it up. There's only so much they could hide. How did they explain it to her family? Her family knew. And still stayed quiet? Why? I don't know. What killed her exactly? I'm not sure how, but her infusion pump stopped working. I know the hospital knew how and why. Who did it? I don't know. The culprit hasn't been caught yet. If it wasn't reported, then of course they wouldn't be. Maybe the hospital was concerned in their reputation to be threatened by the scandal. Whatever the reason, the hospital concealed the truth. I was convinced something similar happened with my brother. I see. One last question. One last thing. This speaking of detectives, apparently Japan really likes Columbo. First time you met Minami was... It's important. That's true, maybe not. Alright, fuck. Just been on the after Susie passed away. I'm trying to keep this all straight about who's before and who's after. Yes, but what does that have to do with anything? I wonder, you're free to go. Never get used to the atmosphere in here. Feel familiar. Detective versus detective! I feel a little late to bring this up, but you used to be a detective. You're right, it is too late. I've killed them all! You what? Never mind. You know why you're missing? I'm stuck with a rather unreliable assistant. Then I hate this guy. Seriously hate this guy. Like, why even have her if she's just gonna be humiliated and belittled all throughout the thing? Going after a certain hacker group. That brings back memories. Whatever happened to them? I wouldn't know. I heard you were rather enthusiastic about going after them. Those were the days. Very well, let's change topics. So it seems you were connected to Rokuro Hospital after all. His daughter died. Lost your daughter at the hospital. This reminds me in the UK, there was like, I forget which hospital it was, but there was like a nurse that was murdering babies. And like, one of the doctors brought it up, like, this only happens when she's on staff. And no one would believe the guy. And so many babies died in the ensuing time of him saying, yeah, we should investigate her, and, like, them actually doing an actual investigation. I'm trying to remember if anybody sued and how much they got. Because, oh man, would I sue the shit out of that hospital. She didn't die from illness, she was murdered. What is Nilish? What? You must have figured it out by now, Amikura. Hisato's daughter was Yuto's friend. Your daughter was that kid's friend, Suzu, was it? Yes, that was her name. But then wouldn't that mean... Exactly, we learned that she didn't die from an illness earlier. But her family didn't report it or sue the hospital. They did nothing. Why? Did the hospital arrange some kind of deal? I wanna fucking, like, either shave his whole fucking face or at least put those little lines in a fucking arrangement that makes sense. There was no deal. If I made a fuss, it still wouldn't have brought back my Suzu back. The only thing I could do was just give up. Is that so? Is that so? You don't say. You don't say. They didn't say. What do you think? I'd say Mr. Koga is cleared of suspicion? I need to bring him back to success and talk to him anyway. Not your reason, right? Another cigarette. I'm also, if I'm going to do another detective game, Portopia for the NES, or what, the FDS, has got a translation. Yeah, I know there was one on Steam, a Portopia murder case on Steam, but I hear that one is a jank AI mess. Like Mr. Hisada, Mrs. Aikawa still seems to have a grudge against the hospital. And Hisada doesn't? He appears to have given up. Miss Aikawa, on the other hand, still looks to be furious. I see, Anne? You had found the person involved with her brother's death. You killed him, is that what you're saying? That's not what I meant. I doubt Mr. Minami was involved in it, though. Not by my current soul of the grudge, and isn't that a sign that they haven't gotten the justice they wanted yet? The other thing, both Koga and Aikawa and cleared. When we spoke to Sada earlier, he told us he'd seen Minami. I think it was just close to where the explosion occurred. I saw him putting away cleaning supplies. If they really saw him, then Koga and Aikawa, who left the area before he arrived, should be clean. Where did I leave us then?
Moving to right, 主様。
I have voice attack set up to move things around. Koga or Aikawa had killed Minami. It'd have been impossible for Hisada to see them. You know, I think if I'm gonna do, set up Rentap again, I'm gonna put him in his Halloween outfit. That's giving me an idea. Aikawa had killed Minami and it had been impossible for Hisada to see him. Yeah, because he'd be dead. It was unlikely that they would have come back and killed him later. Of course, this is assuming Hisada's claim of seeing Minami is the truth. If he hadn't seen him, why would he have to lie? He's saying Mr. Hisada. Oh, God. I go jump to a conclusion. We don't even have proof that it's a homicide. Hey, show me the pictures of the crime scene again. Before or after the explosion? After. Found something? Caused severe damage to Minami's body. But looking at this photo, I can see what hid the traces of a murder. Besides the explosion? Okay, help conceal the proof. You get one chance. Only one? Another cigarette. Be all you need. Now I can have all the chances I want. Like, there was a fucking microwave here. What the fucking light is it? I shall go, everybody. That's correct. Or is this one of those you can only pick the right answer? What proves the body had to have been severely damaged from shards of the knocked over glass shelf. In fact, this means that several pieces of glass embedded in them. Embedded. You mean embedded. Yeah, you can see my captions are correct. You can tell how exactly he was murdered. You see that much from the photo? There's possibilities. Could have been a coincidence because the shelf all traces were concealed. But after that, there's only one way he could have been killed, that would be hidden by the shards. He was stabbed. For the autopsy report again, if we found a wound too deep to be caused by a glass shard, then that should be proof enough of murder. Murder. Might be a while before we get more details. Well, this was an accident for 5 years ago and there wasn't exactly handled with care. Yep, cops doing their best, and by best I mean worst. What? Hospital case from 7 years ago. Yep. You know, the older case was a murder. I'm obligated to investigate. It's another cold case after all. Solving this 7-year-old case should give us the clue to solving our current one. Thought this was only gonna be an hour. It looks like it's like going on for an hour and a half. And displays the data from the cold case unit database. Because you hardly look at the database. Actually, I don't think I've ever seen you working on something before. The keyword is searching incorrect and won't you let's see the info you want, so choose. Search for the wrong thing and you won't get what you want. No shit. Everything's a goddamn password. Outside hacking. Ah, he was going after the hackers. So, I forget when this game came out, what year it came out, but like the whole hacking into like hospital shit, I don't think that was really a... It's a 3DS game, it probably was around maybe then, but like smart medical pumps and stuff I don't think were around. Not ever a detective tracking a hacker group was murdered as a result of hacking. A coincidence? Like, as far as I know, most medical things, the only things on the network are the, like your blood pressure and your breathing, and like that's important, but I don't think a pump. Cause like you don't want that to fail, so you don't put it like on a network where it can fail. Crack zero. Incalculable. Actually, it could be calculated. Codename Trick. I can see how people say this is a setup for a bigger game. Trick, now what have you got? Halloween! They're hiding. What happened to Craig Zero? Several top members were arrested by Detective Genji Hisada 7 years ago, dismantling the group. Whereabouts of Trick are unknown. It's pretty safe to assume Trick was the one behind the murder of Susan. Who are you, Trick? Trick! Trick! Hey, me, oh, stay, me. Calm, try not, move. Mihiro! Oh no, a dead woman! We got man pain! Yep, had to kill a woman in there somewhere. In Famicom Detectives Club, the kid's mom's murdered. Let's see. Thinking. And Saburo Jiguji, I think his mom's already dead. I think his dad or his grandfather. No, his dad's murdered. Maybe his grandfather was murdered. Either way, I think the dead woman is like his mom. And then let's see. Here we have Mihiro. I guess his girlfriend or wife or something. What the hell was that? It's called PTSD, dude. When people talk about being triggered, that's what they mean by being triggered. Not any of that 4chan simply upset bullshit. You have like flashbacks and anxiety and panic attacks and all a bunch of bullshit that's very bad for your health. I can take advantage of him in his weakened state. You should ignore the cold case from 7 years ago. They're all info on Crack Zero. You don't find anything on them. Oh no, is someone in the police department, like, covering shit up? Gasp. And that can't be right. Wasn't his side of tracking them when he was on the force? He was going to destroy the data. Could Minami have been part of the hacker group that destroyed the data? The next day. I understand why this keeps happening. Please go easy on me. I like to talk about the hacker group you were after. Unless, like, Hisada had to destroy it, or like, we'll kill your daughter if you don't destroy the data. And then he destroyed the data and they killed his daughter anyways, because, you know. are there no records left in the police database? Nothing significant. That can't be true. No one to destroy the group. Two big achievements, so why are there no records left? Only draw one conclusion. You destroyed the records. You destroyed all the info. Oh no! We're about to find out. This is the purpose of investigating Crack Zero now. They've been disbanded for many years. Oh, that wasn't the wrong answer! Hey, did you sure you don't know why? I have no idea. Your daughter Susie from Fusion Pump stopped because... Pump was hacked and that's why it stopped. Daughter of a detective tracking a hacker group passed away as a result of hacking. It doesn't take a genius to realize it's not a coincidence. Hang on. Of course I can't say for sure they orchestrated her death, but I bet when it happened you must have suspected Crack Zero. It's not hard to imagine that you suspected them when you found out how your daughter died. The group destroyed before or after she was killed? After. His team must have felt a grudge. Rick would never act on a grudge. He was just having fun. My daughter was killed because he wanted to mess around. Are you sure it was him? Yes, there's no doubt. It makes me so sure. Alright, you're an ex-cop after all. With anything involving family, you wouldn't identify a subject without solid evidence. You arrested some top members and essentially destroyed the group. No one knows where Trick disappeared to. His current whereabouts is possible, you know where he is. No, it's not. Because he's dead! I promise we will catch him. Please, it's too late. Regardless, don't you have another case to solve, Mr. Minami from Ryokudo Hospital? Yeah, we're solving that right now, so tell us how you killed Minami. It's fine, we're on top of it. Good to hear. Now if you'll excuse me. Sure. Clover. Clover? Never mind. Is that like clubs? Or like clovers? Right, Suzu was likely killed by Trick Mystery Sada. I'm sure he knows Craig Zero the best. Trick is a complete mystery. Right. What Mr. Sada said before he left Clover, what could he have meant by that? I wonder. Maybe I'll try searching again and see what I can come up with. Come up with? Can I trust you to do a good job? God, I hate this guy! Please exceed expectations. You can count on me. Yuto! I'll talk to the kid. What brought you here today? You did have a reason for coming, right? Listen, kid, we don't have time to waste playing around. We're working. You got nothing to say then. Sure, take a look. Huh? was sifting through data and found this password screen. Top secret information. Please enter the password. Password? You think you might know? I thought I was the one to password block and then I might have an idea. What, really? You're not a cat. Oh, look at that. Oh! Okay, so why is the kid here? I feel like we've just jumped from one thing to another. Yep. That they're aware of, right? Oh no, I'm having man pain. Alright, the kid comes in. We don't get anything from him. Then we're hacking a database, and now he's having a flashback. Did something get cut out? Hallucinating. Yeah, but man, I'm not gonna seek any therapy. What's this? What's this? Don't touch it there, you know you're not good with these things, so please keep your hands off. I can take a look. Let me guess, he's Trick. And he maybe didn't, like, mean to cause the pump to misfunction. Or, like, he didn't know Suzu was the one. I'll fix it for you. I'm telling you, like, most of the time when you're fixing shit like that, you're not typing shit in. Especially if you can't see the screen. You have, like, another computer open trying to SSH into it. Unless it's a Windows box, and then you're like, well, you're just kind of fucked, aren't you? You kid. Nothing special. I just fixed it. Oh, I had no idea you could do that. He taught me. Minami. Okay, he might be Trick. Oh! Oh, the kid killed him, maybe? The kid found out that Minami was Trick that killed Suzu, and then he was angry and he stabbed him. But would he have been smart enough to know about the light bulb? Like, okay, why did he show up? He just showed up to fix the computer and leave. He lost a friend after all. His friend was 5 years ago. Yeah, that kind of seems a bit mysterious. Other than to plant the clue that, hey, he taught me how to do computer shit. '20s to '50s. Part. Believed to be currently employed by the hospital. And it just And the lappy just pissed the carpet. Trick was Manami. Figured it out. Phone call now? In yellow?
こんにちは、主様。
Yeah. Make her, yes, I see, thank you. They found the autopsy report. It's just you suspected there's apparently stab wounds. They were overlooked because of severe damage from the glass. Manami was murdered. Trick's true identity was Manami, and Hisada's daughter was killed by Trick. What does that mean? Remember the password that opened the file? Clover. Once that clover's meant revenge! Revenge! So Hisada either did the stabbing or the kid did the stabbing. Oh, title drop. Or Hisada stabbed Manami and the kid didn't know Manami was tricked. But we're gonna like totally destroy the kid now. After we're gonna tell him, yeah, your friend was the one that killed your other friend. It appears that you figured something out. You can tell? Expression is easy to read. I was a detective too, after all. Get a room, you two! Oh, you already got one. This cause of death was determined to be the explosion. Like they would just know that it was a stab wound. Well, I mean, unless the cops drop the ball, but you know. That's kind of like how most of these detective games are, is like the cops dropping the ball. So then the detectives come in and save the day. Like, the whole idea of the detective fiction, at least around Sherlock Holmes, is that the cops are buffoons. Private detectives are smart. We've uncovered evidence of a murder, but why now? Why is it taking us to fight? The case was ruled an accident and closed 5 years ago. Due to poor filing, it took us a while to go through everything. His true cause of death was... drowning! The whole room filled with water suddenly. He was stabbed because his body was impaled by glass shards, and the shelf the fatal stab wound was overlooked. So that means he... killed before the explosion. Now being stabbed to death before the explosion occurred. So, tell us, Hisada, how exactly did you end up killing Manami? Do you have any evidence that I killed him? Oh, that doesn't... Stop it! Bad Ren type. That doesn't sound like something a killer would say at all. Also, I think he should be in here with his attorney. But then he's technically not under arrest, so he doesn't have to answer any questions. I have none because you're going to give it to me right now. I have to do a lot better than that to get me to confess to something I didn't do, I assure you. Fair enough, how about you listen to what I have to say first, then? You resigned from the force around. Seven after... yeah.
Yeah.
You quit being a cop 7 years ago. Yes, that is correct. 7 years ago, that's when a certain incident took place. My daughter was murdered 7 years ago.
Yes, I... very kitty face.
Fine, yeah, I'll pet the belly. I swear he's a good butler. Yes, let me conclude the following. You story Crag Zero. A few weeks later, your daughter was murdered and that's when you quit the force. I can understand how your daughter being killed would make you want to quit. Perhaps you even blamed yourself for her murder. Something doesn't add up. Even though your daughter had been killed, you didn't. Reported to the police. Reported it to the police. Because the hospital covered it up, the police didn't do anything either. Your daughter was killed and yet you left the killer at large. Is that normal? I can only think of one reason why you did that. You were absolutely determined to exact your revenge on Crack Zero, or rather, trick yourself. I doubt it was because you didn't have faith in the police. It was more than a simple arrest. It was more that a simple arrest wasn't enough for you. Or rather, you didn't know. You didn't want the killer to be caught. That became evident when relevant data that in the police database has been deleted, especially anything regarding Trick. Except for one piece, one small nugget of information hidden behind a password that you knew. Clover. Another cigarette. Most people think clovers represent happiness, but my grandmother taught me what they mean in flower language. The meaning of clovers is revenge. In flower language, they mean revenge. I'm not the type to pay attention to that kind of stuff, but I wonder about you. Another cigarette! Didn't he just light one? Like, what happened to the other one he lit? He sucked that one down in like 2 seconds? Jesus. Travis Pastor gave us loads to see the info on Trick. You're the only one who would have made that information secure. You gave us the code because maybe you've already gotten your revenge. What are you implying? I'm pretty sure you know who Trick was. Or rather, who Minami really was. This is it. There's really no reason for me to say anymore, is there? Why didn't you just tell us? I must admit, I completely underestimated you. When I lost the one I loved most in the world, and the one I loathed the most was gone, I felt as if I'd been trapped in a cold prison of my own making. My sin, it's been so long, but I can still remember it so clearly. When did this story begin? I thought I had been placed on insulin pumps to treat her type 1 diabetes. I hacked those pumps. I figured Susan could refuse my daughter, that was their only reason. I found a okay trick for now, the only thing that went through my mind was revenge. I didn't hesitate. I grabbed a knife and donned a coat to keep the blood off me and headed to the supply room. I didn't know that Banami would be there. I'd been in the pediatric ward earlier to see Miss Aikawa as I covered her check on Minami. Oh, Aikawa that day? What happened that day? I must try everything straight. I see. What did the two of you talk about? Nothing of importance. I brought up Suzu. And that was it? No, I suppose not. I asked a few questions about Minami. She seemed a little suspicious. But offer what she knew about him. Let me see if I can clean the bottom of my cup with this apple juice. Milk and apple juice go together, right? It's like an apple pie. That's how I found out he was the first to appear in the pediatric ward to clean up after Susan was murdered. How do you think he went there? Like, there was nothing to clean up. The pump failed. They would know how the pump failed. First I thought he'd gone to gloat to see for himself what he'd done. But I was wrong. When I spoke to him, I learned that even Trick was feeling remorseful for killing a small child. Talk to Minami? Yes, I wanted to make sure I was able to confirm it was really Minami who killed my daughter. He'd even put up a fight when I saw the knife in my hand, as if he was expecting it. I was confused because his reaction was clearly unlike how I'd pictured Trick to be like, but still, it was right in front of me. Nothing stood between Trick and my knife. no way I couldn't go through with revenge I so desperately sought. Right here, Susan made this small silver mug for me and I fashioned it into a necklace. Then a birthday present from her about a week before she died. Apparently the hospital had it in an arts and crafts workshop. Never complained during her stay there, not once. That was the kind of girl she was. Ah, yes, she was a nice girl, never complaining, always quiet. It would have been so nice to her. I'd wanted to apologize to him about the explosion. I've been blaming Esau all these years for Mommy's death, but it looks like he's slowly pulling himself together lately. Is that right? Imagine how devastating the death of your daughter must have been for you, but... Like, what was she, 5? 10? You could have spent like, 5 years to make a new daughter. I'm being cruel here. No, even I know what I did was wrong. I know that, but there's no way for the life of me, I couldn't stop myself. I will never be able to atone. No, I stopped being human when he killed somebody, like, because they were a fucking murderer, like, stop that bullshit. I think maybe in this case it's like, okay, he was a bit remorseful. I can see it. But, like, in a lot of, like, other cases to where it's like, you know, they're a fucking, they can't be rehabilitated murderer and then someone kills them, like, just to stop their murder spree, then suddenly, I'm a monster too! And it's like, no, you're not. You just put a dog down that was rabid. Thanks for uncovering my crime. It wasn't me. You did great. I just took Mr. Hasada away earlier. They're not gonna really charge him with much because he's a former cop. You know how that goes? They're just gonna slide this under the rug and just ignore it, you know? They'll be like, yeah, we understand. What is the truth really? A homicide occurs, you said. It's one part of the truth. That's all we've uncovered, isn't it? They tricked Mr. Minami being one and the same was another big truth. This crime still stands. Someone else from Hisada knows the truth. The kid? The kid? The kid? Oh, Susie's dead in the hallway earlier. Did you know? You okay, kid? Thanks, so Susie and Mr. Minami were best friends. They still are. That will never change. Made some new friends too. They call themselves Crag Zero! And they have a leader named Treat. Wait, what, kid? Please don't disappear me on the day. You're one of my friends too. You're the only dad figure I have left in my life. Hey now, kid, I didn't sign up for this. You gotta latch onto him. Sure. Got an email like that. There's like, later on, there's like just 10 kids latched onto him of like a surrogate figure, and she's all like, I ain't taking care of them. Sir, what could this mean? Well done, Detective Nanase. It's good to see you're doing well. I'm sorry about Hero. What the hell is this? We know I'm the hero! Nanase-san. Nami wasn't Trick after all? Or it could be like they passed the title on to each other. As an attachment. God damn, that mouse is slow. Ooh. Red Clover. It's actually called a club, but whatever. They're supposed to be clovers, yeah. This card. It can't be. Somebody colored it black. Yes, this was by Arc Systems. I forget what they did. The Wind 2. I know that name. Oh yeah, Axis Games. Yeah, of course I know that name. I'm not certain how badly or good translated this was. Being a smaller the game, they might have actually done it properly, rather than them trying to translate the Saburo Jinguji cases and trying to make something out of it that it just never took. Like, honestly, if they would have called it, like, the Saburo Jinguji cases or something, they might have actually had more fans who are more familiar with the older game because they watched Game Center CX or something. But they didn't. They decided to make it its own thing, and then it kind of looked like shovelware. Like, the cover of it was, like, not bad, but it's a Japanese cover, but still. If you're looking for Saburo Jinguji, it wouldn't come up, because I did. But, you know, they were only basically going after the people who wanted detective games, and detective games kind of get shuffled in with the hidden object stuff, so people probably thought it was some maybe hidden object something or other. And they just lost both audiences. Which is like when Nintendo was like, we're gonna bring back the Famicom Detective Club games, we're gonna call them the Famicom Detective Club games. And as far as I know, that they're doing pretty well. I mean, not well enough that they have Emio. I mean, I hope they have another Famicom Detective game that's better, because honestly, that one's kind of on the lower end. But as you can see how this was like, oh, it was like a to be continued, and then there was no continuation. Like, I don't know if there's like being a game produced for the Switch, or a game did come out, but it's only in Japan, and it's so obscure that nobody, like, knows about it. Switch to powering down. Domo. But that was Chase Cold Case Files, or Cold Case File, I should say. But yeah, I kind of felt like there was supposed to be something more. Like, this was like either a first chapter and then they'll have a second chapter, but that's the only one that came out. I don't know if it did so poorly in Japan, or if I don't know if in Japan that there was more cases that they just never brought them over because no one was really into this. Like, I think for this one they were writing on the fact that it was from the same producer of Hotel Dusk, Wish Room, and Last Window, that like, hey, here's another, like, what was it, Rain Code? Like, oh, this is from the people that did Danganronpa. Hang on a second. Wait a minute, I think I have... And just get rid of that and add text. Boopity boop boop. Okay, I don't know what's going on here. Oh, well maybe let's see. Supposed to be here? Hey, where are captions? Supposed to be above captions. I'll get this sorted out. Supposed to be going to new cap. That's new cap. Alright. Oh, maybe it's the wrong font. It's supposed to be skipped anyway. Yep. Yeah. Well, I got these captions figured out for the next one. Like, I don't know why it was working on 3DS. Like, it's working here. Let's see, captions, new cap. Yep, that's it. And then if I go to... here? Oh, okay, now it's working. I have no idea why it wasn't working. Oh, is it stop working again? What's going on here? But yeah, you can see how it's supposed to be a bigger thing. And maybe Axis like was hoping that it'd be a bigger thing, and then it wasn't a bigger thing. Or that they thought that Japan would promise them that there would be more, and then there wasn't more. Because maybe in Japan, maybe it just was like it didn't stick. Let's see. I'm looking for my captions over here. Okay, the captions stopped on Twitch. Oh, I see. I see. One moment. One moment. What I wanted. No. Okay. There we go. Then I go here, and then I go there, and then I go here, and then I go there, and then everything is working magically. Yeah, there we go. There it is. I had the wrong microphone. I have two microphone filters on this. Like, one was my old one that uses some plugins, and this one, this one just uses the built-in OBS stuff. Need this here. Here. Yeah. There we go. Where is it? There we go. Just lock it down. But yeah, I could see how people didn't like that. Or like, he keeps putting her down, but at the end of it, he's like, "You did a good job," and it's like, No, like, he kind of really puts me off of like the of the whole thing. Overall, the game was okay. He's a fucking asshole though, so if they improve that, I would be like, alright, I could be into the next game if there was one, but there's not. Or, you know, there might be a next game sometime, and this is like a part of it, and you know, it's like, hey, you remember that game nobody played? You should have played it. It's on the 3DS, which you can't buy anymore because the eShop's done, so you might as well go to the H shop. H shop. And just download it from there. Like, you know, if Nintendo's not going to provide you a way to get, like, your games, new games, like, to actually let you pay for them, you might as well just get them for free. And if I was a developer, I'd be like, hey, you're not letting people buy our games. You're the one that's causing our loss of sales. But, what else? Did I want to say anything? So, I'm probably gonna stream definitely maybe on around Halloween. Spooky game. I'm thinking maybe like Fatal Frame. I have a Fatal Frame game that I might stream. But I might stream some Sabro later in the week, maybe. Like the next case in the thing. Like we started it, and then we just paused it because like, hey, I just wanted to do the first case, which was totally not like the NES case from like way back when, where it was like a, what was it, a hang glider? And they dropped it from a hang glider in the middle of a park where the ending of the last one didn't involve any hang gliders whatsoever. Anyway, take care, everybody. I will see the, later. Bye.